So in this session, module number 2, so melting and metal mold casting methods. So in this session covers only the melting furnaces, different types of furnaces used in the foundries. So what is first before going to that? So what is melting furnaces? So furnace, it is an equipment in which all solid metal and alloys are converted into liquid state. So furnace is a equipment. Furnace is an equipment in which all solid metals and alloys are converted into liquid state. This is the main function of the furnace. And second point, next we can go for the second important point, selection of melting furnaces. On what basis you have to select the furnaces? So furnace selected based on the following parameters. The first one is the type of metal to be melted, whether it is ferrous metal or non-ferrous metal. On that basis, you have to select the furnace. Second important parameter, so quantity of the metal to be melted. How much quantity is required to a liquid metal? On that basis, you have to select the furnace. And different types of fuels used in the furnace. So solid fuel, oil and liquid fuel, electricity or gaseous fuels using the fuel used on that basis. This is also important parameter. So next is the quality of the metal required and method of pouring. The running cost of the furnace is also important role. So next classification of furnace, different or types of furnace. Selection of the melting furnace categories. There are three important categories. One is a type of fuel used, metal methods and types of furnace used. Suppose the fuel used for the coke or lumps, it is called as a solid fuel. So the material, so cast iron and non-ferrous alloys. The furnace is, suppose you can melt the cast iron, the furnace is selected is a cupola. Cupola furnace, it is a only it is melt for the cast iron. And non-ferrous metals alloys, example you can take aluminium, tin, brass, bronze, etc. non-ferrous alloys. So you can use the crucible or pit furnace, you can select that. Suppose the fuel used in the oil or liquid, so non-ferrous alloys and iron and steel. So non-ferrous alloys are again same thing as a crucible and pit furnace. And suppose the metal is iron and steel, so you can go for the open hearth furnace, you can select the open hearth furnace. Suppose the working fuels used in the furnace gaseous, so non-ferrous and iron and steel. So non-ferrous alloys you can select the crucible type or pit furnace, and iron and steel, that is a open. This one is a open earth furnace. Suppose the furnace uses electricity, with the help of electricity to melt the solid metal is converted to liquid metal. So steel and cast iron you can go for the direct arc furnace. So direct arc furnace, there are two important methods. One is a direct and indirect arc furnaces we have studied, and non-ferrous metals resistance furnace, and iron and steel you can induction furnace also you can use that. So these are the different types of furnace or classification of furnace based on that metal, based on the fuel. On that basis, fuel and metal, on that basis you have to select the different types of furnace used in the foundry industries. So detailed study one by one. The first one is a crucible furnace. This is suitable for melting a small quantity of metal and alloy of low melting point. These 2 points are very important in this crucible furnace. Small quantity of metal, small liquid metal is very small quantity is required. On that basis, you have to go for use the crucible. So crucible, it is made up of a graphite, and below low melting point. That means better to it is suitable for non-ferrous alloys or non-ferrous metals. Example aluminium. Example aluminium you can take 650 to 700 centigrade. So there is a low point. It is not more than 1000. So better to go for a lower temperature to melt the metal. The second point is the metal to be melted is kept refractory cup shaped container called it is a crucible. It is made up of a graphite and heated using the coke, oil or gas, any one of them. You can use that to heat it, the convert it to solid state to liquid state. So next you can go for the construction in this crucible furnace. In general, the furnace is housed below the ground level. It is very important. Below the ground level, 2 to 3 feet to dig the ground. Then we have to pit is dug below the ground level. Second point, the cross section of the furnace is circular. Third one is the mild steel cylindrical cell is fixed in the line with refractory bricks around it. Fourth one is at the bottom of the refractory block is placed on which the crucible can be placed. This acts as a pedestal or crucible stand. You can see this figure clearly this time. So you can see this is a furnace, that is a crucible furnace. So this is a ground level. Dig the ground 2 to 3 feet. So inside that you can mild steel cell will be there. MS cell, mild steel cell. Inside that mild steel cell, so refractory bricks are used here. There are two bottom side refractory bricks lining, and left and right side there are also refractory bricks. You can use that. So next one, you can, this is a crucible. So inside that crucible you can put a metal, or in the technical term it is called as a ingot. And this crucible is put on the pedestal, or it is a stand. Just like a pedestal means it is a crucible stand. And surrounding of this crucible you can put a coke. It is a solid fuel. Coke you can put that. So one small hole left side is provided. The air is supplied inside the furnace or inside the furnace with the help of blower. Once the air will be supplied to this one, so ignited the fuel, coke will be ignited, the heat will be liberated, that heat will be transferred to the crucible to the metal, and solid state of the metal is converted into liquid state. After that, you can taken from the crucible with the help of tongue, then you can put it to the ladle. Ladle is taken and mold, can put it to the mold box. This is a simple mechanism. So pit type means that's why below the ground level you can heat to convert the solid state to liquid state metal. You can see that is okay. So next you can go for working principle. I already explained this. In the coke fired furnace, the crucible with metal or alloy ingots is kept on the pedestal or stand, crucible stand. Second point is coke lumps are packed around the, and it is ignited. Once it becomes hot and starts the burning, blower switched on. Then coke lumps are charged slowly. When the coke charges reaches the level of the crucible and lid is covered on the crucible and blower is kept full blast. Metal starts melting, and once the reaches the desired temperature, blower is switched off. Crucible is taken out and metal is treated and poured into the this one. The simple 4 to 5 points you can write it. Next, second type of furnace. So instead of coke, so you can use that gas or oil fired crucible furnace. So last figure you can see that coke is used in this gas and oil. So you can same working principle. Below the ground level you can put a crucible, mild steel cell. Inside that mild steel refractory bricks. You can use that, and pedestal stand and crucible and ingots. The difference between these two, gas and oil fired and coke furnace, gas and oil will be supplied through the this air burner. Air burner is there at left side, and there is no surrounding of the scope. Gas and oil will be supplied here, and air is also supplied. Air burner, mixing of these two in the air burner and supplied to this one, and ignition heat will be liberated inside the cell. Then solid state converted to liquid state. Simple mechanism. Only the fuel will be changed. Difference between gas and oil fired and crucible furnace, in coke fired furnace, only difference, major difference between using the coke instead of coke, you can use the gas and or oil fired furnace. Remaining here same. So next, resistance furnace. So this is the next type of furnace used in the foundry. So in resistance furnace, so you can put in above the ground level. So you can see this is a mild steel cell surrounding of this one, MS steel cell. So inside that cell, so refractory lining will be there. Refractory bricks, you can use that to construct the hatching line. It shows that. So is so in this top end of this furnace covered with the lid, the cover plate or lid. So in this lid, at the center of the lid, the hole is provided. Vent. The main function of the vent hole is the liquid gas is anomalous gas will be present on that. So the gas will be going through the vent goes to the atmosphere. So it's simple mechanism. So once the AC current will be supplied to this coil, the heat will be liberated. The heat will be transferred to the crucible to the metal, and solid state converted to liquid state. So you can clearly understand this figure. You can see that. So next we can go for working principle. So it consists of a series of current carrying a coil inside the refractory bricks. First point, left side and right side, you already seen that in figure. So next, second point, the crucible with the metal ingots is kept furnace and lid is closed. Third point, current is switched on. The melting starts slowly. After completion of the melting, the lid is opened. Fourth point, crucible is taken out with the help of tongs and slag is removed. Slag means the impurities of a liquid metal. So you can remove that. After that, you can use that put into the mode cavity. So the heat generated the coil is given by the equation. So H is equal to I square R into T. H is the heat generated in joules, I is the flow of current in amperes, and R is the electric resistance in ohms, and T is the time for the electric current flows through the material in seconds. K is a constant. So next type of furnace used in the foundry. So there is a coreless induction furnace. So last figure we have seen that the resistance coil will be located in this refractory lining, but here the coreless is coreless type. It is a primary coil. Coil it acts as a primary coil. Metal it is acts as a secondary coil. This is a mild steel above the ground level. You can put a furnace and inside that refractory lining, and this one is a steel cell. This is a crucible. So next we can go for the same working. Induction furnace works on the principle of transformer. Water cooled copper coil carrying the current acts as a primary. The metallic charges is a crucible acts as a secondary coil. Current induced in the charge of the electromagnetic induction. This is very important. The charge offers resistance to flow of induced secondary current. Due to this, heat is developed and charge starts melting. When the molten metal reaches the desired temperature, the metal is taken from the crucible and put into the molds. So next, go for the next type of furnace used in the industries, foundry industries. So electric arc furnace, there are two important of electric arc furnace. The furnace is used to melt mainly the steel and cast iron. This type of furnace, electric arc furnace, is only meant for used to the metal, steel and cast iron. It makes a use of heat electric arc generated between the two conducting materials to melt the charge or metal. The arc heat and melts the charge or metal. So there are two important types of furnaces used in the electric arc furnace. One is a direct electric arc furnace and indirect electric arc furnace. So in case of direct electric arc furnace, electrodes come in contact with the metal to create the arc, develop the arc in between the metal and electrode. So indirect arc furnace never touches the metal. Instead, arc is struck between the two carbon electrodes. So you can see first one, direct electric arc furnace. So this is an electrode, three electrodes, 1, 2, 3. So moving up and down at the required height, you can set that. So in between these two arc developed here, then metal will be converted into solid state to liquid state. This is a steel cell. Steel cell is mounted on the bearing, moving forward and backward direction. So once we can process complete the liquid metal taken from tilting at anti-clockwise direction, taking a boring spout, and this cell rotating in anti-clockwise direction. So this is a charging door will be there here. They put a molten metal with the through the charging door. You can see that. So next, you can working principle. Arc furnace works on a principle that when the arc is struck between the electrode and charge the material, heat is generated due to the resistance of the metal charge. Second point, it consists of disc-shaped steel cell, which forms a main portion of the furnace whose melting operation is carried out. Third important point, the inside portion of the cell is aligned with the refractory bricks. Bottom of the furnace consists of 3 to 4 layers of bricks and forms a flat surface. Fourth important point, that this rest on a semicircular gear arrangement is provided. So tilting furnace forward at 40 to 60 degree with respect to vertical axis during the tapping. Suppose tilted in anti-clockwise direction or backward direction 10 to 20 degree, removal of the slag. Slag is impurities of the liquid metal. Impurities of the liquid metal remove from with the help of slag hole is provided. Slag door is provided, and then you can use the liquid metal. After that, you can use that liquid metal. Next one is indirect electric arc furnace. So this these electrodes should not directly contact the metal. So in between these two electrodes, carbon electrodes, arc developed here. Arc will be developed and heat will be liberated and solid state converted to liquid state here. So next, the ingots, steel scrap and alloy metals and fluxing agent are charged into the furnace on supplying the necessary current and voltage. An arc is struck between the two non-consumable carbon electrodes. In between the non-consumable carbon electrodes, the electrodes are brought closer together and maintained so that the arc remains between them. Third important point, the charge melts by radiation from the heat produced by the arc and also by conduction from the heat absorbed by the refractory lining.